doesn't want to hear that. Catch you later. What's up, Ruben? Oh, I'm getting a few. Just start saying no. Listen to the damn radio.
No mail. The mail is not up yet, folks.
This is AFTV, channels 8 and 13, Thule.
This is Newswatch, compiled from the wires of United Press International, the Associated Press, and military news sources. Environmental information from Danish Arctic contractors' weather operations, plus video reports from News Information Weekly Service and the Thule Action Cam. Now, Television 8 and 13 presents Newswatch.
Good evening, I'm Sergeant Steve Johnson, headlining the news this Monday evening. Nicaragua condemns U.S. action in Central America. Margaret Thatcher calls for an election while her popularity is up. And in local news, we'll have a video report on Armed Forces Day. Dick?
Good evening, I'm Master Sergeant Dick Partlow. The NBA Conference Finals are underway, an astounding feat in pro golfing, and all the scores from baseball and football. Steve?
And in local news, where else but Thule can you see muck-luck hockey games and a dog sledge race on a frozen bay? We have this report. This past Saturday was Armed Forces Day at the top of the world, with the Americans, Danish, and the Greenlandic people joining in a full day of activities out on the ice. Starting off the action, there was a muck-luck hockey game between the security police and Barracks 205. In the first quarter, Barracks 205 led 3-0. They widened that gap with a 5-1 second quarter score, finally topping the security police 9-3. Staff Sergeant Don Eanes, captain of the Barracks 205 team, had this to say about the game.
Team ball, that's all we did. We passed a lot, hit the open man, and just scored the easy goals.
I noticed a lot of slipping and sliding out here. You think that helped you against the SPs?
No, it was just as bad for both teams.
Then I spoke with the referee for the muck-luck hockey games, Chaplain Malone.
Dorm 205 beat the SPs. The game wasn't really as close as the scores indicate because it was something like 8-0, 8-1 at one time. Clean game. I'm looking forward to the next one, and I'm not sure what this does to the league standings. I'll just have to check the newspaper tomorrow and see.
Trackmaster rides were going on throughout the day, but next up on the agenda were the games for the Greenlandic children, with prizes going to the winners. While all that was going on, the Greenlandics made ready for the dog sledge race. The winning dog sledge number 10 crossed the distance of 4 miles in 20 minutes 40 seconds. Sledge number 12 came in second with a time of 22 minutes 30 seconds. And in third place was sledge number 17 at 23 minutes 40 seconds. We're here with our own Luther Frost, AFRTS member, who just completed one of those dog sled races you just saw. Luther, what was your impression of that race?
Well, it was cold and windy, but it was the best fun I've had since I've been up here.
I noticed that the dog sled itself didn't have much padding there. What was it like hitting those bumps out there?
Well, a couple of them were pretty bumpy, but it was smooth most of the way. I got some good pictures out there, too.
What was some of them took off pretty quick. What do you think your maximum speed? What'd you get up to?
We could have been doing 15 miles an hour. Who knows? I was just so thrilled. I was just like, wow.
And the Greenlandic, he just kind of mushed them all the way through, or what'd he do?
That was nice seeing the way, he mushed them along and got them going. It was a really unique experience.
I noticed they kind of bunched up around the first turn. What did they do? Just kind of one follow the other, or what was it like out there?
I think they have like one lead dog, and he takes the lead, and the others just kind of follow along him. And of course, the Greenlandic gets them to turn. I don't know how, but he does.
And the dog just keep on going, huh?
Keep going. Oh yeah.
Okay, I guess you want to warm up now, huh?
Yeah, I want to go sit in the van, warm up.
Okay, great. The first, second, and third place winners received Winchester rifles, while the rest of the Greenlandic sledge drivers got consolation prizes. Jakobina Christensen also received an award in appreciation for her help as an interpreter. Then it was off to Hangar 8 for some food and refreshments. The Morale, Welfare, and Recreation Department provided hot dogs, chicken, potato salad, and ice cream to the now weary participants in the Armed Forces Day festivities. The Danish band Happiness performed, while everyone relaxed after their long day out on the ice. Outside the hangar, a Danish Gulfstream was on display, along with the United States Air Force C-141.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Virgil Hopper. Thank you for joining us as we prepare to talk with Thule. As you can see, our special guests are two of Thule's finest, Gary and Sandy Collins. Folks, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for letting us come down here.
The thing is, we were talking about all the various activities and beautiful things you've taken part in since you've been here at Thule, and we'll be getting through all that. But first of all, you represent two of the most perfect two people that make up a couple that I've probably met in quite a while. Just what's your secret?
Well, I wouldn't say that we were so perfect. We're surrounded by a lot of perfect people, and maybe that's just a reflection, because we are surrounded by so many great people. It's just it's just easy to relax and enjoy everything, I suppose.
Well, I certainly noticed the fact that you do relax. Just how did you meet, though, here at Thule?
Gosh, do you remember?
Well, I don't know if I can remember back that far, but I think the first time I met Sandy was over in the Blue Nose Club, naturally. We seem to hang out there a lot, don't we? We didn't strike it off very well to start with, so,
Yeah, I didn't like him. I thought he was a kind of loudmouth and obnoxious. But then I thought it was kind of cute after a while, I suppose. I met him within the first 2 weeks that I got up here, and it's just been us ever since, I suppose.
Now, where are the both of you from? Are you from anywhere near the same area back home?
No, I'm from Decatur, Georgia, and Gary's from Paola, Kansas.
Oh, sort of a span of distance that kind of brought you together at the top of the world.
That's right.
Now, you've taken part in all kinds of things. People a lot, in our area, recall you being in your clown outfits and all this at different functions, from Uleman to telethons to any...
like to go to the gym, like to go to the hobby shop or recreation center, things like that. There's a lot of things you can do, but get involved in some way in the community here at Thule, and your time will go so much more faster that way.
And I agree, and along the way, everybody be sure not to take themselves too seriously. That makes it a little bit harder, I think, as long as you're getting involved, and I want each man to know that we're going to miss them. And I want everybody to come see us. We're going to New Hampshire, Manchester, New Hampshire, and I'd like to make an open invitation for the whole world to come and visit us while we're up there.
And of course, you'll be in the book.
And that's right. We'll certainly be in the book.
But don't come all at once.
Well, as long as you have a reasonable supply of chicken McNuggets or whatever.
Well, see, we'll have more ready access to things like that where we're going.
Certainly.
So no
That's
problem
something.
there.
And, of course, we're bound to probably bring our own treats as well. Who knows?
That's right, a little bottle of snaps here and there would be quite nice.
Well,
it was pointed out last night that we probably won't have access to any snaps or open-faced sandwiches or anything like that, so we will miss that.
I'll bring the caviar and the open-faced sandwiches. And
Okay.
Why not?
All
Sandy, Gary, I want to thank you very much for coming by and just speaking with Thule, because it's just one of those rare opportunities we get a chance to talk with you without your clown garb on or in a serious vein. Well, I don't know if this is even serious, but it's just great to have you. I want to thank you for dropping by this final time in our AFTV studios at Thule and saying hello.
Just for old time's sake, can we throw a pie at somebody before we leave?
You're out of luck. There's no, we've gotten in touch with our friends in the dining hall, and no whipped cream or whatever else.
Okay.
But again, thank you very much. You can go on back over and pick up your cigar. Is probably cold by now, but what the heck.
I hope it's not burning anything down.
We're okay. Thanks again.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much for being here.
And thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Sergeant Virgil Hopper. We'll be talking with Thule again soon.
Yesterday, the Coast Guard cutter Northwind came back into port, coming through the ice buildup on the bay, escorting the fuel supply ship USS Yukon. The port officials have asked us to remind everyone that visits the dock, smoking is not permitted there due to fuel vapors that could collect in the area. Meantime, yesterday, the Thule Regatta hit the ways of Lake Sputum here on base, sporting some of the finest racing and pleasure craft to ever hit the waters of that Arctic inland waterway. This year, there were 4 entries. However, only 3 participated in the race. The SS Precarious came across the finish line and into the marina first, captained by Major Randy Woods. On the crew was Sergeant Joyce Marquardt, Lars Larson, and Yvonne Hummel. The Precarious represented Det 3.
What do you owe your success to?
Muscles. Very, very hard, strong muscles. We took care of the old Sergeant Lord and Boss Moss and everyone else there. No problem at all. Going around that triangle.
The Leisure Drifter, masterfully captained by Master Sergeant Wayne Lord, docked in the harbor second. Master Sergeant Roger Leho and Master Sergeant Rick Chris manned the other oars on the boat, while Senior Master Sergeant Les Boss Moss ran the sound system for the less than ocean-going vessel and provided limited navigational assistance.
They only had 2 push poles. They had 4.
Well, what happened? Why didn't you have 4?
Well, the Leisure Drifter is designed for leisure, you know, and when the challenge was out, there was nothing we could do but put forth our best effort. And with only 2 poles, you know, you only need 2 poles just to drift around and control your
problem with coordination out there, too.
Yes. Well, there was slight problem there,
going in circles and stuff.
He had to work, but couldn't get there for the race, but he certainly put some work into the craft. Benny Sorensen had the only 1-person craft, complete with a smokestack and smoke to keep his dinner warm. However, the funniest watercraft on Lake Sputum was the one from the 1983rd Communication Squadron. Tech Sergeants Elaine Hammond and Ron Hush kept this vessel afloat for as long as possible.
What was the secret to your success, Aileen?
The captain of the ship.
The captain of the ship, what did he do? Nothing.
Well, we want to thank our pit crew and especially our design engineer, Rick Cunningham, standing right over there. He's the one that put the raft together. We're going to get him later.
The 1983 intramural softball season here at Thule came to a close in the championship game, pitting the security police peacekeepers against the Barracks 205 Fuzzbusters. Last evening's contest was the final game of a best-of-3 series, which began Tuesday, when the teams split a doubleheader. The SPs jumped out with a commanding 13-4 lead early on in the 4th inning of the game, using their strong fielding talents and some very heavy hitting, while the 205 squad managed to maintain their poise and concentration to keep from being blown out of the park. Things didn't look any better for them going into the 5th inning of play, as the SPs held a 14-7 lead. In the 6th, the 205 team tallied up a couple of singles and squeezed out 3 RBIs to close the gap to 14-10. While the SP's big bat machine seemed to have gone cold. From the 5th to the top of the 7th and final inning of play, the Peacekeepers came up to bat and left empty-handed. The stage was set for the 205 team. Bottom of the 7th, trailing 14-10, and their last chance at victory. This was a position the team had found themselves in throughout this season, and the experience of building game-winning last-inning rallies paid off. Mike Morin started things off with a solid double to left field. Then Tony Staying-Alive Degadillo added another double, bringing Morin home. A recent addition to the 205 lineup, Pat Ellis, stepped up to the plate and nailed a single past second to bring in Degadillo. Then a couple of consistent performers for the 205 squad, J.D. Yo Mama Mullane and Don Big Daddy Eanes, added back-to-back doubles to bring Clutch Ellis in. The score stood at 14-13 as Bill Armstrong approached the batter's box and closed the door on the SPs with another double. After the congratulations were given, I had a chance to talk with the members of the 1983 Thule Championship team. You're from Thule?
Personnel.
Are you one of the famous Thulicans?
Yes. I don't live in 205, but I sure play softball.
I noticed that. Are you what they would call the 205 designated hitter?
Yes, I'm the designated hitter. Did you see that last hit?
Yeah, I saw you knock in a couple of real good RBIs. You had a strong single.
Yes, that's it.
Get a chance to talk with the winning coach of this year's intramural softball team, Beauregard Stone. Also happened to play a real good mean third base there.
Yeah, right. I was nervous.
What's third
I was nervous.
But like I said earlier, though, we got here about the 5th inning, and you guys were really hurting.
We sure were. Strategy. Yeah.
That was your strategy.
Yeah. We won the toss, and that's one of the reasons we picked home team was you get your last ups.
Tell them the truth. Give you a chance to. That was more or less what helped you out on there, right?
We did it on our last ups. We needed 5 runs to tie. To win, I'm sorry. 4 to tie and 5 to win.
Now, what was there at one point in the game, there was like, how can I say, an official discrepancy or argument or discussion on the mound as far as some of the rules. And what was that about? I didn't get a chance to hear that.
Okay, what it was the ball went in between the 2 outfielders and rolled into the ditch. And
Tell the truth.
In the rule book, if the runner is heading toward a base, he gets that base +1 when it goes into the ditch.
Well, I don't think it was an individual effort. I think it was the whole team at the end. I think we came out with about 5 or 6 hits straight in a row, and I think that's what did it.
To have to come from behind 5 runs down and to win it in the fashion that you did, and no outs at all, that's quite an accomplishment.
Quite a team.
I'm talking with the general manager of the championship softball team here at Thule this year, the 205 Fuzzbusters, Lieutenant Kathy Eller. And Lieutenant Eller has some information for us on the upcoming softball all-star game between an all-star team here at Thule and the Coast Guard all-star team.
Okay, the all-star team games will be played when the Coast Guard comes in. We don't know when that will be yet. They're supposed to let us know. When they get in, we'll set it up. The Thule all-star team had been chosen. However, since a month has gone by, a lot of people have PCS'd, and we have a lot of new people in, so we'll be picking one here very shortly.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Sergeant Jim Monholland.